Well, folks, we have some more rumors to go over here for you guys in regards to the Nintendo Switch 2. And these ones are extremely worth paying attention to because they come from the very person who gave us image leaks of the Nintendo Switch 2 before reveal. Those image leaks were proven to be correct upon the reveal of Nintendo Switch 2, making this user over on Reddit, Next Handheld, maybe the single most reliable leaker of Nintendo Switch 2 information and imagery to date. I know Nate the Hate obviously just hit really big, and we're going to keep following all the stuff he has to say as well. But we want to focus in on some more hardware features that maybe were not in that trailer or weren't featured directly in that trailer. There's a potential there was a slight tease of one of these hardware features, but in the end, we all know what Nintendo Switch is. It's a flawed platform that we really enjoy, but could really use some hardware refinements in a sequel, and it seems like we're going to get a lot of those hardware stuff. Now, there's a thread that was recently compiled over on the Nintendo Switch 2 subreddit, going over all the things that Next Handheld said that weren't just about what the system looked like. But Next Handheld responded and basically clarified something that all of us want to know. Did Nintendo address Joy-Con drift? Now, there's other things we're going to go over, but that's the primary point. Has Nintendo solved and eliminated Joy-Con drift for these brand new Joy-Cons? It seems like they did, at least if Next Handheld is to believe. Now, remember, this is a rumor. Even though this guy's been proven to be extremely reliable, we still have to treat it like a rumor until it's confirmed. But, oh boy, I'm pretty excited by what Next Handheld had to say. Now, before we dive into that, I want to remind you, we're on the road to 140,000 subscribers. You want to stay as up to date on Switch 2 and all of Nintendo's future games, all you got to do is subscribe right here at Nintendo Prime. And let's go ahead and dive in. This is the thread we're talking about over on the Switch 2 subreddit. We're going to go over all of this stuff, but I want to focus first in on this. The Hall effect is from teardowns. This is the important part because people were like, well, if you couldn't turn the system on, how would you know their Hall effect? Well, yeah. Apparently, there were teardowns of the Nintendo Switch 2 when he was going hands-on, and yes, Hall effect sticks are in. Now, if you go back to the trailer itself, you can see this one point where Nintendo is spinning the control stick. That might have been an indication that they had done something to the control sticks to the effect of Hall effect, but that is obviously something that we can't confirm at this time, so all of that is still a rumor, but still really neat to see Next Handheld doubling down on the Hall effect sticks because that would be a massive improvement to the Nintendo Switch 2. So really hope they're in. They're actually not that pricey these days, so it would make a lot of sense. Nintendo does have some patents around Hall effect, so it wouldn't be shocking if they did include it. But oh man, this is the one rumor that please be true because that would solve a lot of headaches. And there's no dead zones, by the way. Sometimes people put intentional dead zones programmed into Hall effect sticks just because you're so used to having them that not having them feels weird. Anyways, going into the rest of what he had to say from this thread, this is pretty cool here. So here's the new Joy-Cons. The C button is there. He's doubled down on the C button being a C button despite Nintendo not having a C on it. The joysticks have a Hall effect that apparently fixes drift problems. The SL and SR buttons are metal. ZR and ZL triggers are big, which, okay. And the leaker believes they're not analog. So you're talking about digital again. Buttons don't seem pressure sensitive to the leaker. So again, probably just all digital buttons. The console itself, the game's cartridge slot is the same as the old Nintendo Switch in terms of size, supposedly. Now we've seen Nintendo kind of confirm that a bit by showing Mario Wonder being compatible physically in both systems in the slot. The only difference is the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges have teeth section, which prevents them from being inserted into the old Nintendo Switches. Now, we haven't seen a Switch 2 cartridge yet, so we'll see on that one. The Nintendo Switch 2 preserves the micro SD card slot, which we believe we saw in the trailer. It's not lighter than the original Switch, but much lighter than the Steam Deck. It's as thin as the original, which appears to be correct so far from what we saw. Capable of 4K 30 when docked, maybe more. Obviously, he didn't seem 100% sure on that. The screen is LCD. I know that's disappointing to some, although notably, the PlayStation Portal is also LCD, so take that for what you will, because that one looks pretty good. Even if the leaker stated he didn't notice a microphone, on the Switch 2 video, there obviously appears to be a microphone. Now the dock has the same amount of ports as the dock on the OLED Switch, with 2 USB-A ports on the side and 1 USB-C, 1 HDMI, and 1 Ethernet port on the inside, and there is no eGPU in the dock. Packaging. The leaker got the Nintendo Switch 2 with no packaging, but later confirms that the box is red. When buying the Nintendo Switch 2, you'll get the wristbands, which are like those Joy-Con strap things. One of the ones that you probably saw turn it into a mouse. So those are included. No surprise there. Other leaks, the leaker has been told that apart from the gray one / matte black that he has seen, there might be a white one and a third game-related themed one. The leaker states that a special edition of the Nintendo Switch 2 will come in a bundle with a game that has a characteristic number 9 on it. The leaker stated that 9 game is a first-party game, most likely to be Mario Kart 9. The leaker also hinted that the theme Switch will come out at release and will be of an IP that is, to this day, still doesn't have its own theme Switch. It is theorized that it'll be Mario Kart themed Nintendo Switch 2. The leaker has stated that the name of the supposed Mario Kart 9 isn't Mario Kart 9. The leaker states that they know what the game is, but they didn't see a clear 9. I suppose that what the leaker is saying is that he was told that it was Mario Kart 9, but that the name of the game isn't directly Mario Kart 9. This aroused confusion due to the leaker saying that the game had a 9 in the title. Now we know that it's Mario Kart 9, but that it's not named Mario Kart 9, or that's what I understood. Seems very confusing. So something Mario Kart. The leaker doesn't know if the different color editions for the Nintendo Switch 2 will be released at the same time or staggered. And then leaks that I think are not real or accurate. It says the screen of the Nintendo Switch 2, same size as that of the Steam Deck, which is 7.4 inches. It does look like it's around 8 inches based on what we've seen, although not 100% confirmed. So we obviously can get one in hand and measure it. From what the leaker states, you might be able to connect the old Joy-Cons to the Nintendo Switch 2, but apparently they won't charge because the Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have the same rail system as the old ones. I think when we talk about connecting them, we're talking about Bluetooth. They're not going to actually slide onto the side. So I think maybe he was just saying that he thinks over Bluetooth you'll still be able to use them. That makes sense. But obviously the biggest takeaway from here is the Hall Sensing 6. I know some of you might take away, well, the white system. Yeah, an all-white system would be pretty badass. I remember when they did the black and the white, they did that with the Wii U, if you remember. They had those 2 editions, the white edition being the 16 gigabyte edition and the black edition being the 32 gigabyte, the black edition being the one that sold the best, but we're talking about a platform that totally flopped, so what does that even mean? No, it was 8 and 16. I can't remember. It was some pretty low storage numbers, so maybe it was more 8 and 16. Beats the hell out of me. But anyways, I'm really excited about that idea of having maybe going back to that matte black and then that white console again. I know white isn't always the best for in the hands. It's really grimy and you got to keep it clean, but hey, it still would be kind of cool looking. Now, set that aside, obviously a Mario Kart themed one. That being at launch to me is a little weird. Whether it's called Mario Kart 9 or not doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is it feels strange if they were to call it a Mario Kart bundle at launch or a Mario Kart themed one at launch. I kind of feel like they would save that for the holidays at best and focus instead all their manufacturing on either a black or white edition. But hey, what the hell do I know? It's not like I have any inside information. And Next Handheld has proven himself to clearly be somebody who got to go hands-on. What I do know is I'm really excited for Nintendo Switch 2. And I put this out on Twitter, and I kind of find this just to be amusing. This isn't like a serious thing, but I've been calling this thing Nintendo Switch 2 since 2022. And I got a lot of hate for continually calling it Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo's not going to call it Switch 2. They don't use numbers. I mean, yeah, 3DS and 64. Well, I got what you mean. Not traditional, not PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But I got blasted saying it, and I even mentioned that, well, hey, yeah, Nintendo's never done that. It probably won't be called that. I don't think Super Switch is it, or Switch U, or whatever other names people were coming up with. I didn't really think fit. But I kept saying the whole time, Nintendo Switch 2 to me made the most sense. And everyone, I won't say everyone, but a certain crowd of people kept attacking me over and over, calling me an idiot and calling me all sorts of names because, hey, Nintendo would never call it Nintendo Switch 2. And here we are today, and it's called Nintendo Switch 2. And I do find it a little funny reading the comments over the last few videos and podcasts where none of those people, like the same usernames that were saying all that, don't seem to be present. I know. You're all waiting around for the next rumor. Maybe it's this one to not be true. So then you can fire back and start blasting Prime again. I know how the internet works. Rumors are not meant to be believed. They're meant to be doubted, including this video until proven otherwise. But still, it is kind of funny to me that after calling it Nintendo Switch 2 for years, that is literally what the name is. And all those naysayers were incorrect. Does it really matter? No. But hey, where are you guys at? I still want you to watch the videos. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. I am Nathaniel Robojazzz from Nintendo Prime, and I'll catch you in the next video.